Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here as ever because today is part 26 of working on my most complex project to date, the Viking sword. We have a lot of engraving on it, we have a lot of beautiful gold inlay put in there, we also have a beautiful Damascus blade, but you will remember there was a problem with the pommel that caused me to completely rip out the twisted gold inlay. Today, we need to fix that problem, finish that pommel for the final time, put the gold inlay in, and get this ready for assaying. Here is how the pommel looks right now. You remember we brought it to a mirror finish on the lobes so that we could make sure that it was consistent and it was clean, but our intention was not to leave it like that. What we want to do, to save it being quite so bright, is we want to brush the surfaces, give it a satin look, which is nerve-wracking because we don't want to make it too brushed and sanded, and we don't want to make it too polished, and we don't want to waste the huge amounts of time that I put into this. I'm scared. Why don't we start with some 800 grit? Nice and moderate scratches. There's some 800. I'm gonna cut off a little bit. Gonna take a piece of copper, a little piece of leather. There we go. A little bit of super glue. 1, 2, 3. Gonna stick on the leather. We got a little sanding stick. We'll put our sandpaper on our new sanding stick. Gently pick up our pommel. Yeah, acting confident about this doesn't make me feel any more confident about this at all. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Ooh, this is going to be difficult to get consistent. I think I've got to do it on a machine. So I'm going to take this wheel off. I'm going to put this wheel on. Ooh, I think this is going to work a lot better. This is Scotch-Brite. I'm going to gently work the tops and then we'll blend it into our transitions. That's looking pretty good. I'm now carefully going to take some 800 grit sandpaper over these flats here under the microscope. A little more 800 grit. Okie dokie. It's these details that finish the piece. These are the last strokes. Okay. Well, they're actually the last strokes until the other side. This one's taking a little bit more work, and I found going sideways like this helps a lot to see what I'm doing, but I think with a little touch-up, gently here on the Scotch-Brite wheel, a little more of this. So out we go, it's looking rather beautiful. There's the one side, here's the other, and it caught. Oh, we were so close. Ah! I brought the scratches back onto the faces that I just sanded. That is less than ideal. This is a game of 2 steps forward and 14 steps backwards on this project. Ooh, okay, almost. Oh great, there's a scratch on it. Oh no. I didn't fill these in with paint. I didn't put paint in the touch mark. Oh my goodness. Let's paint the touch mark. So the next step is the twisted gold wire inlay. This is some 24 karat fine gold right here. This is what we ripped out of the first one, which means that of course, this is no use to us. And we got to make up some more. This is the same reel, 0.5 millimeter diameter. And hopefully we got enough of this fine gold to twist up so that we can inlay it back in just like we did about 1.5 months ago. Uh-oh. Oh, I think we might just have enough. Oh my goodness, did we get lucky. I'm aiming for about 1 millimeter. That'll do. Now anti-clockwise. We'll compare it. Nope, needs more. That's a deja vu. Oh. Broke again. Deja vu. That looks good. Right, we got our wire. Time to set it in. In we go with our pommel. I'll re-undercut my grooves. Where's my third hand when I need it? Ah, there we go. Oh, it looks good. Those outlines and that paint in the touch mark. Ooh. The pommel is looking very good altogether. They're looking very good. I have made a little note on some blue tape here indicating where we want our mark. I've given the pieces a light oil, and now we need to package these pieces off to send them off for hallmarking at the assay office. Of course, I mentioned this in a couple of previous videos. Because we're planning to auction this sword and there is over 1 gram of gold in here, significantly more than a gram of gold, for me to stay within the law, I need to make sure that that is checked and assayed. That's what this little gold pad here is for. We were gonna have them stamp the assay in, but it takes time for them to make the stamp, and I'm also very concerned about stamping on inlay, so we're gonna have them do a 3D laser assay, hopefully, which is gonna look just as good, and it's gonna save damaging that inlay. So I'm gonna wrap up my pieces in some oil-soaked tissue. Got all the 3 pieces in a little Ziploc bag. And into the little box we go. You've seen unboxing channels. Now you see boxing channels. Perfect. This is ready. I just need to fill out some paperwork. So this can go in here. Box this back up. Stick on a label. There we go, and this 2 months of my life is now ready to get put in the hands of a delivery driver and go to the other side of the country. Hopefully, we'll get this back sooner. And so with that on its way to the assay office to be checked out, inspected, and marked, I need to think about the handle material, and I have decided on this. This is a piece of bog oak, a piece of English bog oak. This is a very old piece of wood, and it sat at the bottom of some boggy, lakey river thing. This was given to me by a friend of mine, Cedar Law, on Instagram, David Delagardelle. Check him out. And this is just a gorgeous piece of wood. From sitting at the bottom of some river or bog, it has developed this beautiful black look to it. And I think that it is a good, modest balance between a lighter wood and what we could do, which would be using, obviously, a full black wood like African blackwood. But since we don't have our pieces anymore, we sure are grateful that we have scribe lines on our sword that are going to tell us exactly the measurements we need. So we'll give this a measure, both ends, on the sides. We're going to get the length. We're going to take this to the bandsaw, give it a cut up to rough size. Then we're going to go into the mill, square it off completely, get our hole running down through it, broach it out. We're going to be making progress for the handle on our Viking sword. We got 2 holes in our bog oak ready for it to be broached through. I'm going to take a broach in there and we're going to open that up. But for this episode, this is going to be it. But we got some great news first, and that is that we are joined again by intern Alex from the Netherlands. He has just showed up, and we have been already cracking on with a very exciting video that's going to come out tomorrow. Fun little project. It's fantastic to have you back, Alex.
Fantastic to be back.
Everybody loved you. I'm sure everybody's going to be very excited to see some more of you over the next couple of weeks. This is going to be it for today's episode. I very much hope that you have enjoyed, and I very much look forward to seeing you on the next episode, which isn't going to be the Viking sword, but stay tuned because the Viking sword is soon going to be worked on again once I get the pieces back from hallmarking hallmarking at the assay office. I'm excited to be auctioning off this Viking sword. Also exciting stuff happening. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.